Hello everyone, and welcome back to Tavern Talk. My name is Lulubelle, and we're gonna pick back up where we left off. I hope that you enjoy this game and find it just as cozy as I do. Oh, alright, so we're on the evening of night 2. And isn't that little slime guy just the cutest? Careful, you'll step on my cape. Oh, shush. Greetings, travelers. How may I help you? Ugh. Not another one of those empty babblers. Would you prefer a different line? I can confidently say I'm all but empty. Would you prefer a different line? Let's see. Hail and well-met adventurers. Would you like to try me drinks? No, that feels wrong somehow. Could try the one where you just serve drinks quietly. I'm fresh out of that one, sorry. Thought so. You're planning to try and peer into my backstory. Probably. Ugh, I'm warning you. I'm very good at ignoring non-essential NPCs. I'm not an NPC. Why are you ignoring me? Not ye, the innkeep. The innkeep is ignoring me? Not in the slightest. Don't worry too much about him. He's a tad quirky. I see. That thing on your shoulder, is it quirky too? What thing? Ah, my cape. Your cape? That's not his cape. That green fella on his shoulder is an ooze, or what's left of it. And the rest of it's on you. Pretty tough to clean off. May I ask how that happened? You just did. Maybe I can offer you two a drink in exchange for the story and your names? Yes, I love stories. Well then, may I have your name? No, but I shall tell it to you. I'm Sir Alphonse Louis Frederic Duquette de Sang. That's quite a mouthful. I hope I don't have to say that. It's long for Kyle. How did we get Kyle? Oh dear. Kyle? Kyle. Well, Kyle, what kind of drink can I offer you? Blood. Or if you're all out, I would also settle for something that tastes like blood. Or looks like it. Red is my favorite color. I'll look for something with red in it. Strength? Yeah, I guess this is pretty red. Got a pet Andu. Cute buddy. Southern Brawler. Some almost blood for you, sir. Oh, thank you very kindly. That looks delicious. It also tastes delicious. very alive. Maybe as a chaser, you could let me have a bite. No. Okay. And to whom may I offer the second drink? Rhea Frostgrip. Nice to meet. Yeah. Skip. Just serve me something strong, something that feels durable, tough like a mountain, or the caves of Ur. One of those frosted lagoons look close enough. Coming right up. I love Andu. He's so cute. Right. One frosted lagoon. Frosted lagoon. A taste of just for you, valued customer number 2. I didn't like that it rhymed. Oh, are you hitting the placeholder text? Let me try. I see you're many things, but not a liar. Tastes like a pile of rocks, just how I like it. So, Rhea, Kyle, about that ooze-filled story? Fine. Guess you've earned it. Alright, picture me deep in the mountains of Dolfmere, with my trusty axe and a good drink by my side. There I was, minding my own business, digging for the good stuff, you know? Hit a gold vein earlier, and I deemed myself the luckiest dwarf of all time. Had a real big old pile of gold. Then suddenly, this big ooze comes along and slurp. Gone it was. This is a very boring story. Perhaps we could go looking for my cape now. It's nearly sunrise. And the sun kills you? Oh, right. Did the ooze also eat the cape? Yes. No. Oh. He's so cute. Anyways, I wouldn't call myself the best warrior, but that ooze slurped me gold. I had to do something about it. So I took my shovel and dug and hit till there was nothing left of that ooze anymore. Well, almost nothing. So, did you dig out your gold? Silly food, she dug me out. And guess what he was clinging on to? The gold? Oh, yes, a big gold nugget. Should be enough to get me to Barovia? And perhaps it can even get me a dandy new cape. I don't think so, Sunshine. We had a deal. Ah, we did? Please allow me to ask a question. What was that deal again? Oh dear. I get you to Barovia, so you can participate in your fancy vampire banquet. In return, I get the gold. But what about my cape? Where did you last see your cape? Don't even bother. It's a lost cause. We looked everywhere on our way here. Fought cursed chests, many-eyed monstrosities, undead goons. And I started to wonder, where in his life did this man put his cape? Where everyone puts their cape. Do you know where I put my capes? Where? In a wardrobe. she's very angry. Oh. So you can wear it inside the wardrobe land? What? No. Kyle, maybe we could just find someone to retrieve your cape for you? We could? Phenomenal. I could put out a quest for you, but for that we'd need a little bit more information. Good luck with that. First, I need to know where you last saw your cape. I was getting ready to go to the annual vampire banquet hosted by Lord Strut in Barovia. While getting dressed, I realized I couldn't find my cape. First thought, of course I cannot find it. The Cape of Invisibility is playing tricks on me. It's quite moody sometimes, which is truly unfortunate when you want to wear it to an important event. We all know how important a fancy cape is for flaunting your vampire status. Of course. Then, what was the last vampire event you wore the cape to? My wedding. Your wedding? When I married my sweet Evelyn, I simply had to wear my most treasured cape to show how important she was to me. Evelyn, the vampiric Countess Evelyn residing in Marrow Castle. That would be her? Congratulations. Are you still married? Of course not. I hate her. Every inch of her body. Turns out, she just wanted... Spit it out, leech. Oh. What? My cape. Rats, here we go again. My sweet Evelyn stole my cape. What now? That little mean, vicious, beautiful beast, her, that thief of thieves, robbed me of my most precious possession. Wouldn't that be your heart? No. I had that taken out centuries ago, but my cape, I could never live without that. Oh, sweet Evelyn, how could you do this to me? I trusted her with all that I had. That's rough, buddy. Perhaps Innkeeper. That's your name, right? Sure. Do you think there's a courageous adventurer out there brave enough to retrieve my precious cape for me? I'm afraid that my sweetest Evelyn will kill me on sight if I ever set foot in her villa again. Yes, I think we can find such an adventurer. We're setting up that search right now. So, where could a brave adventurer find Marrow Castle? Deep past the Abyss of Dread, at the foot of a mountain range that looks like a witch's bosom, towers the mansion of my dear Evelyn, Queen of Darkness, Temptress of Men, Flamenco? Champion of 1467? I don't know what that is. The right hero should be able to outsmart her and escape with their life. But be wary, she bites. And she may be invisible now. Alright, I think I've got everything I need. I'll write up a quest for you. I'm sure you'll have your cape back in no time. I hope so. That reminds me. Not another cursed monologue. And keep quickly another drink. I don't think I can make it through another tale of woe without some artificial stamina. I need another lagoon. I'll see what I can do. some liquid stamina for a valued guest. Let me try. You got it right again. I might even last till dayfall with this. Kyle, would you like another drink as well? No, I cannot drink now that I am consumed with thoughts of my love's betrayal. Oh, it ails me so. Everything ails ye. The whole way here you were complaining about having to walk. My bat form doesn't work like it used to. I'm out of practice, and the slime weighs heavily on my shoulders. And my back is all itchy. By the dragons, could it be because you insisted on sunbathing? Oh right, innkeeper. Do you have a drink to protect me from the sun? Pray chance something that would also moisturize my delicate skin? I'm afraid not. Oh. That reminds me, my Aunt Matilda used to harness the power of a chimera's saliva for sun protection. A chimera? A thing. A beast made of several animals. Got 3 heads in all, made by the dragons to guard Gaia, likes to eat people for breakfast. I'm aware. I just didn't know its saliva could be so useful. Ah. If only I hadn't eaten that delectable bear chimera in the Scarlet Caves. I could have asked it for a sample of its saliva. I'm sure that would have gone over well. Actually, I might know where to find one. Really? Will you get it for me then? No. Oh. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Miss Frostgrip, dear Rhea, perhaps we can alter our deal? Oh, nay, forget it. I ain't going. With nothing on me but a shovel and ooze goop, I'd be no match for such a beast. No problem. I can make another quest for my trusted board. And when will it be done? Tell me, when can I walk among mortals in the glistening sunlight once more? As soon as a fearless adventurer picks it up and succeeds, especially that part. Splendid. Did you hear that? A quest just for me. Let's leave it at 2. Say, innkeep. While we wait for someone to do his work for him, perhaps he'd... Do ye perhaps have a room or two? Possibly a room without sunlight. Wouldn't want Snow White to go up in flames over here. Sure thing. I've got a couple of barred up rooms. You could stay there. How much? You can pay when you leave. Grand. Seems like they just gave you more personality than usual. Keep it up. Maybe you'll be a real girl one day. Wow, she's kind of mean. Thank you. Enjoy your stay. You too, tasty creature. Okay. Gotta make the quest for the cape and for the sunscreen. Banshee vampire cape. Cape. That's the cape. Okay. Put that one first. Then that one. Okay. Until sunrise, deep in Quag Mangrove resides a wyvern chimera. Its scales and claws are a valuable treasure to any alchemist, its saliva even more so. As it happens, a certain vampire may be able to use the rare saliva to produce a sunscreen so effective that even he could walk in broad daylight. Is there any adventurer or mouse brave enough to confront the beast chimera? The beast? The chimera, not the vampire. And bring back a bucket of saliva. Kinda grody. Alright, a quirky vampire is looking for his cape. Vampire last saw it on his wedding day, and there's the location. Hey there, Evelyn. On a mild summer morning, a senile vampire came to look for his cape of invisibility at the Wayfarer's Inn. After steady questioning, the innkeeper uncovered that he lost his cape at his wedding, where his ex-wife, Countess Evelyn, stole it from him. She resides at the foot of the Witch's Wrath Peak. Venture to the peak and dare to retrieve the long-lost cape. But beware, she might be invisible. Day 3. New friends and former enemies. Do you wanna, I think, turn my sound up a little bit? My shipment of infusions finally arrived this morning. I now have access to some fey crystals and frozen pine cones. Together with Fable's Phoenix chilies, I have 3 infusions now. I'll unpack them later when I have some time. I have a feeling they'll be of use soon. So, Inky, a drink for me and this lanky pal. It's good to see you too, Cyrillin. She meant to say please. Welcome back, Fable. You look alive. Thank you, I am. That seems like a given. I'm just happy to see them doing well and with a friend. We ain't friends. We're not? So, you two didn't form a party? No. Oh. Then what's the drink about? They may be very annoying, but they did just help me solve a family feud of 10 years. So I do owe them some of your dishwater at the very least. Family feud? I wouldn't call it a feud, more of a miscommunication. No, it was a feud. I feel like a feud implies a certain level of hostility. I was gonna kill him. I thought that was a joke. It wasn't. Oh. But no one died. No. Elfie here was able to prevent that. It's Fable. Whatever. Does this perchance have something to do with your quest? It does. I stopped her from killing the werewolf. Elaborate, please. I was gonna kill the werewolf. They stopped me from killing the werewolf. What's not to get? A lot. I think she's confused because the quest was to save the villagers from the werewolf. And now it sounds like I saved the werewolf from you. Which I did. Kind of. I also remember you saying you didn't want the quest, Cyrillin. I didn't. Was there by chance? They were both stealing sheep. Was not. Sure was. Adventuring don't pay what it used to. So you steal other people's sheep? Mind your own business. How did any of this lead to a successful quest? Well, where do I start? How about at the beginning? Right. I was born on a half-crescent dreaming moon of the quest fable. Right, the quest. Traveling, there was no trouble. I know enough shortcuts to travel through the Ashen Grove swiftly. I reached the borders of Tregarin right around dusk. The Ashen Grove thins out around there, and you can catch a glimpse of the wide fields and vineyards, as well as see one farm after the other. An idyllic sight, well, at least before sunset. Did you have any trouble in the dark? Emotionally? Visually? A little. I mean, I reckon I can still see more than a human could, but darkness is darkness, and I am no owl. Thank gods. You're already weird enough. Imagine the damage you'd do if you could turn your head all the way. Imagine the damage you could do if you could turn your head all the way around. Who says I can't? Just kidding. Anyway, luckily darkness doesn't affect my hearing. Not the normal kind. What? Nothing. Okay, I heard a creaking fence and footsteps that were failing to keeping quiet. Your ears are failing at being small. So I snuck closer and I saw a werewolf-esque shape picking up a tiny sheep. I was petting it. Well, I thought she was gonna eat it, so I summoned up all my courage and I stepped out of the shadows and I said, "Good evening, werewolf. Please put that sheep down." I didn't expect them to be entirely in their right mind, of course, but I wanted to be polite. And I thought it might confuse her, and maybe that would help calm her down. It confused me, all right. Who the heck sees a werewolf and the first thing they do is greet them? A polite person? Or an insane one? It worked, didn't it? Because I ain't no werewolf. He wasn't that different. But I'm skipping ahead. To my surprise, instead of a growl, the werewolf, or not werewolf, responded with a, "What?" So the confusion plan had worked, but I hadn't really expected the response. So I said again, "Please put the sheep down." And she asked, "Why?" And I said, "Well, because stealing sheep isn't very nice." And she asked who I was. No, I asked, "Who are you, a guard?" I was about to introduce myself when we heard this blood-curdling howl. It sounded like someone had ripped a hole into the fabric of reality and then pierced it with a horrid yell. Please. It was barely a bark. And it made the blood freeze in my veins. I heard panting and heavy footsteps, and I barely dared to turn around. You turned around immediately. And when I did, I stared into the twisted face of a werewolf, yellow eyes gleaming with jaundice. Sharp teeth, giant claws. He looked like he wanted to eat me right up. He did. But before I could beg for mercy, suddenly something rushed past me and lunged at the werewolf. When I regained my composure, Cyrillin and the werewolf were on the ground, fighting tooth and nail. And the sheep you were holding? Obviously, I set it down at that point. Good. So, you went to Fable's aid? No, that ain't it. I noticed the wolf's flannel rags. They were blue, checkered, had an uneven print. Just like the kind of stuff Uncle Dragon likes to wear. That old... Hey, why can't I say that? What the... Youth protection, the age rating system is quite harsh. Anyway, it was dressed like Uncle Dragon, smelled like Uncle Dragon, fought like him too. I was joking when I brought it up before, you know. Haven't seen that old man in years, was coping about it by joking. That's the only way I could talk about him these days. Because of the feud. Yes. He used to be my favorite uncle, but then he changed. Became irritable and angry, distant, fought a lot with Uncle Fedor? Cared more about the moon than he did his own family. Eventually he just left, ran away without a word, left us and Uncle Fedor behind, worried senseless. Till we found a letter saying not to look for him and all their savings missing. I swore I was gonna kill him myself if I ever saw him again. Turn that down just a tad. Always thought he couldn't just face up to his problems. Turns out his solution was just to get those problems as far away from everyone as possible. Idiot. Did you talk it out with your fists? I tried, but Elfie stopped me. I'm glad they did. How did you figure that out? Well, she was yelling at him. I didn't understand half of it, but I could tell she was angry and hurt. I tried to get their attention by telling them to stop, but they wouldn't listen, so I shot an arrow right next to both of their heads. My aim was a little shaky, so I did end up grazing Mr. Dragon's ear. But it got him to stop for long enough to start listening to me. I threatened them that if they didn't stop to talk, I'd shoot them both. I would have never done that, of course. But they must have believed me because they actually stopped to listen. Looked mighty scary there, little pal. Thank you. I sat them down and did my best to be an insurmountable obstacle between them. If they wanted to fight, they would have to go through me. That sounds rather dangerous. 'Twas. Wouldn't have stopped for them. What? You're the size of a stick. You think you could stop 2 angry wolves? Oh, well, anyway. I used the opportunity to figure out what was going on. And that's how I found out about Mr. Dakin and Cyrillin and the miscommunication. Feud. The feud, sure. Turns out that after Mr. Dakin was turned, he was too ashamed to admit it. But he couldn't stop the changes and ended up hurting all the people that he cared about. That's no excuse, of course. No, it ain't. If we had known, we'd have helped them best we could. At the very least, we'd have built a sturdy shed with scratch-proof walls for full moons. He didn't think that would have happened, though. So he decided to fix the problem by leaving, deal with it alone, and so on. But that only made it worse. Of course, he was too embarrassed to come back, so he just focused on the whole werewolf thing and not any human things or Vukakin things, so to speak. Trying to find a cure, trying to avoid the moon, trying to find a place to sleep, stealing sheep. That's something they have in common. The sheep? No, the stubbornness and the unwillingness to ask for help. But the sheep do. But they had to talk about it. That silent resentment wasn't good for either of them. And you got them to do that? The little stick is oddly persuasive. Had us talking about it before I even realized I didn't want to. Maybe because you did want to? Maybe. How did it go? Fine. We'll take some time to accept his apology. We'll have to see him change first and apologize to Uncle Fedor and the rest. But it was good to see him again. Guess a hug did feel better than a great sword in his gut. Wonderful. Of course, there's still the problem with the whole werewolf thing. Idiot got so obsessed with the cure, he can still barely control himself. We helped him realize that a cure couldn't change what he'd done, that he has to accept he's different now and learn how to live again. Of course, it won't be easy. No change ever is. I learned that from you. But we have a group of werewolves living near our settlement. A small community that enjoys the company of our worm trees. We play charades with them a lot, and they taught me about the phases of the 7 moons, the secrets of the moon signs. That sounds like a bunch of baloney. It's real. You're a crescent moose. We introduced Mr. Dragon to them, and they promised they would take him in and help him deal with his lycanthropy. That sounds great. It is. It's a happy ending. I wouldn't call it an ending, rather the beginning of something new. So the end of one adventure is just the beginning of another one? Exactly. I like that. So, after your heroic therapy session, you two decided to grab a drink together? Got offered to spend the day at the settlement, but they don't serve anything strong enough for my tastes. Plus, Elfie was dying to get back here. Was talking about how they needed to update you on everything non-stop. Would think they live here or something. I had to report back about the quest. I'm glad you did. They also started crafting something with the werewolves. Said something about it being for you, Inky. Oh, really? Yes. It's not finished yet, but I'll let you know, I promise. That wasn't that hard, was it? Well. So, a drink. What can I offer you, Cyrillin? Surprise me with something that fits my brawn. By which I mean, make me the usual strength that never gets old. Do I remember it? Let's see. Haha, I do. What was that? Surprise! Not bad. You should do this professionally. I'll think about it. Fable, what about you? Do you have something that'll calm me down? Maybe even bring back some of my agility? Like a swift strike back to my senses. I've had a stressful day. Night, morning, sequence of events. Here you go. Thank you. Wow, this is perfect. You look tired. Have you considered sleep? They do look like they're gonna pass out any second. So do you. Maybe sleep is a good idea. Cyrillin, do you have a place to sleep? I can sleep anywhere. It's a talent. It's depressing. I have a room available. You can stay there. Sounds good. How much? I'll count it as payment for your help with the quest. Fine. Later, Elfie. See you later. Are you heading home, Fable? Yes, I've been gone for a whole day. I need to get back and make sure everything is still growing correctly. Maybe take a nap first. Yes, that too. Did you enjoy your first quest? I did. It was scary and different from what I expected. And I didn't know I was so good at pretending to be charming. Have you considered that you weren't pretending? You did well, Fable. Thank you. I hope that wasn't my only adventure. I think this is just the beginning. That would be nice. Do you think I'm gonna save the world one day? That's a very tall order. Ha, you're right. I'm not cut out for that. I didn't say that. I would just prefer it if the world didn't end. Right. But if it does, you're the first person I'd ask for help. Maybe you should ask Cyrillin first, but I'd be happy to be second. We'll see. Let's hope we won't. I like this world, and you have a point. We shouldn't hope for such a calamity. Even if it would make for a good song. Or a sad one. Or both. I'm gonna head home now. Do that. I'll stock up on quests for you. I can't wait. See you soon. See you soon. Good evening to you too. This quest, it wasn't here yesterday. That is correct. It seems dangerous. It is. And mysterious? Sure. Like me. You could be a little less mysterious by telling me your name. Zephyr. Did the wind carry you in? No, my legs. I want that quest. Well, you can have it. Not just literally, physically, emotionally. Emotionally? I want to take on that quest. Go to the castle, get the cape. I mean, yes. Well, no one's gone into that castle yet, so if someone would like to go, would be welcome. So, you know of the castle? Yes? It seems strange. It is. A vampire lives there. I heard rumors, whisperings of a strange, fiendish woman residing there. What a coincidence. Me too. Has she ever frequented your tavern? No, not recently. But she has. Once had a vampire mixer. Interesting. So she was only here at night? Yes. Would you say she was unnaturally pale? No, she had a lot of makeup on. But below that mask. Sure, yes. Would guess she looks pretty dead below that. What kind of drink did she order? Blood. Interesting. You sell blood? Of course. Whose blood? Did you hear about the wolves did you hear about wolves avoiding the castle? Really? All of them? Yes. She has a lot of werewolf traps set up, but all the animals seem to steer clear of Marrow Castle. They say its doors are always locked, so nothing can go inside or leave. And anything that tries to merges into her land in one way or another. As a grave, a pile of decorative bones, dirt-feeding rotten flowers. They say death clings to her doorstep like an everlasting melody. Sounds like a strange place. Like a tomb for something still alive. Or for a goth. Goth or vampire, she seems to be a thief. It appears so. Do you not sympathize with that? Thievery is an honorable skill, but it must be performed in secret. Or you're not worth the coins in your pocket. Also, stealing a man's cape is just plain rude. I suppose. Only thing worse than that is stealing a man's hat. Not if it's cursed. Especially then. Point is, if you can't defend yourself from having your trophies reclaimed, you must live with the consequences. The consequences being you? Exactly. It definitely sounds like you know what you're doing. Of course I do. I am one of the shadows. I'm one with the shadows and the wind. Gone before they even notice I'm there. So you could easily swap something else along with the cape, right? Certainly. Gold, gemstones, other treasures, whatever pays the bills. What about something... What about some interior decorations? Like what, for example? Just something to pretty up my tavern a bit. Maybe something useful that also doubles as a decoration? Like a chair? Stealing a whole chair sounds a little too ambitious for your first quest with me. I'd prefer something smaller, like a little trinket. My walls are still a bit empty. Wait, you're being serious? Absolutely. A memento that once belonged to an eccentric vampire sounds like a wonderful addition to my tavern. I'll see what I can do. You won't be disappointed. Well, then, I trust you to deliver yourself to her doorstep and the cape back to me, along with a neat little addition to my interior design. Sounds like I'll need a few stamps. Would you like some? No, too traceable. How about a drink then? I could do with one of those. I had heard your drinks inspire transformations of great magnitude. Allow you to dip into parts of yourself that you weren't previously aware of. Raise yourself up from your shadow. Say, what do you trade for them? How about a joke? A joke? I don't do jokes. Then I don't do drinks, I'm afraid. How do explorers hide their treasure? How? By dragging them to a safe location. That was terrible. Alright, I feel bad for you. You may have one of my renowned drinks. And some of my renowned infusions. In fact, I just got a fresh shipment today. Was finally able to unpack them. Infusions? Intriguing. What vile magic do you have to offer? For your purposes, I think you could benefit from some fake crystals or a frozen pine cone. The frozen pine cones have absorbed some of nature's icy properties. They can help you form a magical frost barrier that will hurt those trying to harm you. The fake crystals hail straight from Avalon, allegedly. If consumed, they'll turn you invisible, eventually, for a bit. The duration is a bit unpredictable. I've also got some phoenix chilies, but I don't think those would be very useful for your situation. Interesting. So, what dark depths do you find yourself looking to explore? I fear that Lady Evelyn may be of the undead nature. So I must be strong and vigorous if I want my stake in her heart before her fangs are near my neck. Though that does sound appealing. Strength I can do. And some frost armor should help with the fangs. Or perhaps the smartest route would be to evade her wrath entirely, to out-stealth her and steal the cape right from under her pale nose, so that she may lie in the shame of having lost against me. I think such an approach would require a certain amount of dexterity, and some invisibility would help with staying unseen, should my speed and agility not be enough. Help me with the decision, Innkeep. Your wisdom is no joke, is it? Ooh, I'm parched. They might alter the drink in a way where I have to use different ingredients than usual. Okie dokie. Maybe I should even try adding infusion first and adjusting the drink from there. Okay. So, I think we're gonna do the stealth. I feel like that'll be safer for him. I have a bunch of new stuff. Those are the quests, looks like. Yeah, okay. Kyle is a vampire. He, him. A peculiar visitor looking everywhere for his beloved cape. However, it seems that he has definitely lost more than just that, possibly also a few of his memories and his marbles. He was once married to Lady Evelyn, a vampire countess residing in Marrow Castle, and enjoys sunbathing. Maybe a tad bit too much. If Zephyr, I don't have anything about him yet. Oh, him, they. Okay. Rhea, they, she, her. Rhea is a hot-headed dwarf and pretty rough around the edges. She is not a fan of meaningless copy-paste NPC talk, whatever any of that means. and seems to have caught herself a lost vampire while digging for gold. Unfortunately, or so she claims, she's now stuck with him. Okay, cool. We're gonna go with this one. And we'll give him, this is the one that makes you invisible. Here you go, a drink that all vampires fear. Garlic breath? Not quite, but that's a good name. May I steal it? You don't ask for permission before you steal something and keep. Then it's no longer a clever ruse, but a mere trade. I see. Did you hear about my new drink, the garlic breath? Ha. Good one. It tastes like, not garlic, but just as fearsome to a vampire. You don't find garlic scary? No, only the absence of it. That makes just two of us. Hopefully this will help me evade her. I'm not prepared for a fight, but I won't need one if my steps are swift and as quiet as the wind. If she can't see me. Goodbye, innkeep. I would say, pray that the sun will carry me back to you. But my hopes do not lie with the realm keepers, and I shall be damned if they control my fate. Expect to see me again after the next sunfall. If you do not, speak of vengeance. Vengeance only makes for an early grave, or for a good story. Farewell. Or for a bitter end. I'm taking this quest and a drink. Great. Did you sleep well? What? Sleep? How was it? Ah, fine. Too long. Didn't sleep that much in ages. Sounds like you needed it. No, your beds are just too comfortable. It was hard to get up. Of course, my apologies. I will make sure to take your feedback into consideration. Would you like a drink as compensation? I think I already said that. Make me something strong that will wake me up and keep me up too. Nailed it. Something strong coming right up. That is strong. Just the right amount of too much. Maybe I should call this drink the Cyrillin. No, you shouldn't. Anyway, the quest. Yes, the quest. I'm taking it. So you said? I see it is my turn to make conversation. I miss Fable. Isn't it a bit too soon for another quest you just returned? It has been hours since I've done anything but sleep, chat, and drink. I'm getting antsy. If I sit still for too long, it feels like my bones are disintegrating, and I forget who I am. I think that's called boredom. It's torture. No. Girly bop, it is ADHD. That too. Well, Warren is not what I would call this quest in the slightest. Stealing from a chimera for a vampire sunscreen couldn't get more reckless than that. It could by taking Elfie along. Fair point. Please don't. I won't. So the saliva's for a vampire sunscreen. Can't a vampire get their chimera goo themselves? It's a wyvern chimera. Vampires and fire don't mix too well. Also, if everyone just did their own quests, the quest economy would be in shambles. Suppose that'd be terrible for your business. Indeed. Does it bother you that it's for a vampire? No. Does it make you nervous? No. You didn't mention that you like fangs. Did I mention that I have a great sword 3 times the size of your head? I'm sure a vampire would find that impressive. Have you ever encountered a chimera before? No, not a real one. Got me thinking, ain't it kind of blasphemous to steal from a draconic guardian? Depends, are you religious? Guess not. Then no. Would it be if I was? Don't think so. Chimeras steal riches all the time, and they were created to be the guardians. Created to be guardians by the protectors of the realms. So stealing something to protect someone else seems in line with the doctrine. Good thing you ain't a priest. You do a piss poor job. Thank you. Is blasphemy what you're most worried about? I ain't worried. Okay, nervous? Ain't that either. Then what is it? Excitement, I suppose. Excitement? Don't laugh. I'm not laughing. I'm asking. Ah. Yes, excitement. I've never encountered a guardian before. And I've always sort of wanted to. Why haven't you? Ain't exactly easy to find one or to survive one. This seems like a great opportunity for you then. It is. What's it about guardians? It's less about the guardian and more about what created it. And maybe a little bit about the chimera. It's got a dragon head, right? Yes, modeled after its creator, I would guess. So let me rephrase that. What is it about dragons and chimeras with dragon heads? They're cool. Also, when I was little, my baba used to tell me bedtime stories about the dragons every night. She was a great adventurer and encountered many of their creations on her journeys. Not sure if it's true, but she always claimed she met each of the realm keepers themselves. Had little keepsakes from them and all. My sword's one of those. Passed it on to me before she left. One day she was just gone. Think she wanted to spend her last moments somewhere else. Like to think she visited one of her dragons one last time. Your family has a leaving problem. At least she left our savings alone. That sword and her stories are all I have left of her. Going on this quest, it almost feels like I'm stepping into a memory of hers. Did she ever tell you about a wyvern chimera? No, it was the only kind she never encountered. Had quarrels with those feline ones, different varieties of scales, and even a cow one, I think, but never found a wyvern in all her years. It would have been nice to be able to tell her the story when I return. If I return. I'm sure you will. You can tell the story to me. I don't know if I make for a good Baba, but I do enjoy a good tale. I'll think about it. You already got me talking too much. This is you talking too much? So, you like dragons? I do. They're fascinating creatures, very interesting, very magical. They are fascinating and magical. Used to pretend I was one when I was little, really wanted their magic and their wings. You can just ask them for their magic, not sure about their wings. I ain't a priest either. Besides, I'm a warrior. I don't do all that magic stuff. Why not? I like my sword and my muscles. They're a good combo. And I don't need to rely on anyone, not even dragons. A little help never hurt anybody. A little self-reliance don't either. If you say so. Does that mean you don't want a drink to pep you up, Sarah Lynn? Didn't say that. I see. That doesn't count as help. It's prepayment for me taking on your quest. Sure. You'll be happy to hear that I have some incredible infusions to offer you that could greatly help your quest. No, that sounds unnecessarily complicated. Let's keep it simple. Alright, what can I get you then? I reckon a little bit of a boost for this body couldn't hurt. Heard they're quick and toothy, so I'll need to be too hardy for its bite. Some defense might come in handy. Or something for the brain. Baba talked quite a lot about how much they enjoy a good ruse. Maybe I can outsmart it with the right play. But I'll need some intelligence for that. Won't be risking it all on a bad idea. Are you sure you don't want to try any infusions? Just a little bit of phoenix chili would make you fire resistant, and that could be very useful in a fight. Dragons, you're stubborn. Sure, I'll try one. And on the topic of trickery, no, one is enough. Either you mix defense with your weird chilies, or you go heavy on the intelligence. Don't need any more of your fancy tricks. I don't care which one you pick. That's your job. Figure it out. I feel like outsmarting it fits more in line with her grandmother. Zephyr is a difficult character to say the least. They're so caught up in their own fantasies of an edgy rogue that they seem to be stuck talking or brooding like one too. He likes all things dangerous and mysterious, or at least he pretends he does. Okay. I think I'm gonna go with the nebula. Right, that's the Starry Nebula. Figured it out. Thanks. Hope you seasoned it with some trickery. It does feel weird, like my brain is sparkling. No refunds. How urgent is the sunscreen? Pretty urgent. The sun tends to not take a break, even for vampires. Maybe he should sunbathe less then. That might solve his problems. Might. But when has an easy solution ever been fun? Good point. I'll see what I can do. Maybe they got some mice in that mangrove. Good luck. Won't be needing it. I'll be waiting to hear of your exploits upon your return. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining me on our innkeeping duties. I hope you have enjoyed my company and my commentary, light though it may be. Please remember to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. If not, that's fine, and I hope I was able to keep you company today. I hope you have a good day or night, and you keep on going. Goodbye, friends.